to Spartan Music, where everything is awesome. And you know who else is awesome? We are, because we're going to gloat. Or because, well, a lot of things have been gloat worthy lately, but definitely some interview that just popped up, which confirms something that Steve Kenobi, and that's one of the thousands reasons why I have him on today, is been saying for years. And apparently this is the best proof we've gotten for it.
Yeah, listen to the Viking.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm so excited. I forgot to introduce you all the way from the future.
That's fine. I know who I am.
The King of the North. The one true king of Westeros.
More like the bastard by the dock who's selling bait in the harbor, but happens to be in the north.
Well, okay. Well, we can definitely endorse that. Oh, I just realized that I'd been drat my life. I had shared the tab and then I closed the tab, which really is unhelpful. Well, so while I get this ready, let's say hello to everyone. And it's Snortopupus Cooper, who is here, and he is a muser of House Rose. Thank you for being a member. We have Rob MC 3361. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Hope all is well. All is well. And we are going to say lots and lots of thoughts. We have Dadman Walking saying hello, Triple M. Thank you. I'm going to be on with Dadman Walking this Sunday night. So please subscribe to him. And yes, we do have memberships. So if you want to be a member, please go ahead and do so. But in any case, to give a little bit of a background, we've been having the Dunk and Egg show, the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which is doing phenomenally well. Imagine why. Because A, it's faithful, and B, it's just friggin' awesome. And we have been hungering for this. Now, some people were feeling this way about House of the Dragon, but not really us here. There were minutes and parts of House of the Dragon season 1 that I liked, but it was full of a lot of problematic things. It really was. Like, a lot of the red flags were already there, but they accidentally got several things right. This is perfection from the beginning. And I've said it once, I've said it twice, I'm going to say it one more time, that people who think that George R.R. Martin's work is nihilistic have not read his works, because this is not an outlier for him. This is a great work and a very simple work that is being very faithfully adapted. Now, it might go to hell in a handbasket second season, but we're starting to get hints to think maybe it is not. So yeah, we've got lots and lots of spoilers. So before we go into detail about everything and what Stieg was right about, I'd like to go ahead and play for you all the interview. It was sugar. An excerpt from an interview. Let me make sure everything's good. Everything is good. I'm going to share the screen with Dexter Solancel, who plays Egg, and the guy who plays Dunk, who is adorable. We love him. And what accidentally? Well, I'm not sure Dunk accidentally says it, Egg says it accidentally, but look at the reaction of the actor who plays Dunk, and you can know he's like, oh crap. Some people are trying to say that this was a bit. I do not think so. But even more importantly, we're going to see what exactly they're saying that is having us all losing our mind. So without further ado, here we go. I'm sharing my screen and I'm going to make it full screen. And let's play this very brief clip.
If you've heard of a word, summer hall.
Yes. Yes, we have. I mean, I don't know about Peter, but I do know a bit about when Egg's trying to make dragons in the summer hall, and then there's a huge fire. But we know from George. We
don't know if that is exactly what happened.
We know Dunk survives, but we don't know if Egg survives yet.
We don't know exactly what's happened, but let's just get this season 1 out of the way, and we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay, so there we go.
Dunk was trying to deflect.
Yes.
We don't know. We don't know. And the kid was, yes, we do know.
Yes. And did you see his face goes bright red? Like he's
Yep.
like, oh shit, and he does like the neck thing. But first of all, I love this kid so much. He's so adorable. But it's Salty Traveling Sea. But let's tear apart what exactly is going on, what he's saying, and what he's saying. Again, what he's saying that makes us lose our mind. He talks about Summerhall. Now, can you maybe tell us a little bit about what is the whole big deal about Summerhall?
Well, later in their story,
Mhm.
when they're older, Egg tries to hatch dragons at Summerhall
Mhm.
by using pyromancers and stuff. Summerhall burns down, and we're told that none survived. That's the official story, and we don't know anything about it. However, we do know some things because in the World of Ice and Fire, which is official, which is a lore history book for Westeros, which is supposedly written by maesters, right?
Mhm.
Uh, the only thing about Summerhall is a burned out, piece of paper
Yep.
with stuff missing, and it reads like this: the blood of the dragon gathered in one, and then there's a space, 7 eggs to honor the 7 gods, though the king's own septon had warned, space, pyromancers, space, wildfire, space, flames go out of control, space, towering, space, burned so hot that, space, died, but for the valor of the Lord Command, space. That's Lord Commander, that's Dunk. So someone would have died if it wasn't for the valor of Dunk.
Mhm.
And yeah, Egg is the only other name mentioned, so at Summerhall.
Yep. Now,
So that's likely who was saved.
was Egg saved, or was it real and because she was pregnant? I thought that was what people assumed.
Don't know. I think Egg is Varys
Yes. That's where we're
because
going with this.
they're described almost the same way when they're first introduced in their respective books. Both are bald as an egg, and there's other similarities too. It's almost, yeah. And Egg is threatened often with castration. What happens to Varys? Castration. Right? I think it was self-castration, to be honest, part of the ritual with the dragons. Because king's blood is not anyone who's just a king. That's some stupid shit from the show. King's blood is explained in the first book. It is blood from old Valyria. Daenerys' brother explains it. It has nothing to do with someone just saying, I'm a king, and then you automatically have king's blood. It's a bloodline. And the Targaryens have it because they're the last surviving house from old Valyria. So Targaryen Valyrian blood is what counts as king's blood. And
Yes.
Stannis has it. We know that because the Baratheons have mingled with the Targaryens at some point.
Yes.
So,
Now,
yeah. And, Varys keeps powdering his face, uses a lot of powder. Could be to hide burn scars, don't you think?
mm-hmm. Very possible.
Yeah, I think he's a bit like what Lady Stoneheart is. He's actually quite dead, but up and walking because the fire whites in the books function like that. They get kind of more and more focused on what they were focused on at the time of their death,
Mm-hmm.
like Lady
And
Stone
like Lady Stoneheart and like Daenerys.
and Melisandre.
Mhm.
And Melisandre uses a red ruby to hide the fact that she's quite dead. That's the thing in the books too, I believe, or rather, it's strongly hinted. She also hardly ever sleeps and hardly ever eats. Tyrion in book 3 gets to see Varys's chambers. He doesn't have a bed; he has a stone slab, almost like a Dracula kind of thing. That's where he. I don't think he sleeps; he just rests there, just lays down on that slab.
Yeah. And if he is a fire right, and what we know about Daenerys, because it was a one-time deal, as Martin said, and that she was the sacrifice that brought the dragons back to life, and that she actually did truly die, but is a fire right, because of all the blood magic that happens in the
Plus,
same way.
basically, the Lord of Light raised her, and she doesn't know it.
Correct.
Because after that, Daenerys hardly eats or sleeps.
And she's sterile.
Yep.
In the Summer Hall event, I believe the same thing happens to Aegon, that he is the sacrifice. And that's what allows him to be raised in the Lord of Light. And obviously it didn't work with the dragons because that was not the will of the Lord of Light or whatever. The whole idea that everything unfolds the way that it is meant to unfold. It's going towards what we're seeing in A Song of Ice and Fire. And then if you think that Egg is Varys, if you will, and it is far more clear in the book that he is a chameleon, that several times he has many different disguises, and with Ned when he visits him in the cells at the end of A Game of Thrones, that he didn't recognize him at first. Wasn't there something like that? Like definitely there was some sort of glamoring going on, or that's how he was able to get in?
Yeah, but the glamoring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Melisandre does it, and she's using a red ruby.
Mm-hmm.
And Varys has a bunch of rings on both hands. Some of them are red rubies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There we go. Spider was a turnkey. Oh, I knew it's something to that effect. Now, let's throw it out here a little even further about the whole Aegon being Varys, and the connection with his brother Aemon up on the wall. You have something also to say about that.
The what?
Up at the wall. Remember his brother, is it Aemon?
Aemon Targaryen, his brother.
Yes.
He went to the Night's Watch he didn't want to be king, so he went to the Night's Watch, which is odd, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Also, when Bloodraven is up there as well. So he basically followed Bloodraven, but he's on the other side of the wall. And seems to have been in communication with Bloodraven in the books, actually, by using the ravens. So, and also I think he's in communication with Varys, because Varys seems to know what's going on up at the wall. And we're told that Varys uses, little kids as spies and stuff, but there's no little kids at the wall. Yeah. And also the little kids tend to be mute. They have their tongue removed. So
he refers to them as his little birds. And how is communication done?
With birds.
Birds?
Yeah, from Aemon, ravens. So I think it's literal when it comes to that end of the story, but
yes. So the way I'm seeing it, we've talked about this for years, and we've got proof, especially over on a Sport Kings channel where we talk about that, and I've even talked about it when I was going through the Hedge Knight, that Aemon is a very, very intelligent man. He's kind of called a nerd and all that, or the useless son of Maekar, but he goes to study with the Meisters at a very young age. He's always into his books, and becomes obviously a Meister. He's the brother of Aegon. that Dunk is the king's guard. He is head of the king's guard. Egg should not have been king. He's a fourth son of a fourth son. And that when Aemon decided to abdicate in favor of his brother, was it because, well, no, I'm Mr. Meister, or did they all kind of decide, okay, this is the plan, this is what we're going to do? Like they knew something was going to be going down and that this was their plan to whatever ends up happening in Summerhall.
I think it was. It ties in with Rhaegar and the prince that was promised and all that stuff. I think all that's got a bit cultish, and we know also for a fact that those babies that got killed by the mountain when the Mad King was killed. They killed Rhaegar's children, right? With Ilaria, what is it? Ilaria Martell? Elia Martell. Varys let slip when talking to Tyrion that, she cried so hard for her babe. That's not plural, right?
Yeah.
That's one, not two. And we later find out that Aegon, which is a new Aegon, who shows up in book 4, I think, was supposedly smuggled out by Varys, and the baby was replaced by another baby that he bought in King's Landing. So the wrong baby got smashed. But so Aegon's up and about, and Varys smuggled him out. So odd he would do that, really, don't you think?
Yeah, that
unless
would be.
They're actually related.
Yeah, his grandson or great grandson.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he wants a Targaryen, and I mean, they sometimes call him Fagon in the books because we don't know if he's fake or not. But if anything's in there, it's there for a reason.
They keep calling him the Mummer's Dragon, which implies that it's an actor. He's not a real Targaryen. But here's the thing: Varys was a mummer, which is an actor. So it's his dragon. It's not that it's an actor dragon, right? It's in the words. So play on words, kind of to,
Yeah. Well, and the whole dragon having 3 heads. Well, if this whole theory is correct, that would be Aegon the Sixth. I believe it would be Aegon the Sixth, correct? Because there wasn't an Aegon in between Aegon the Fifth. It would be the 2 Aegons. It would be Aegon or Fagon, the one from the book 4. As you said, I haven't read book 4 yet. It would be Egg / Varys, and it would be Daenerys. So those would be the 3 dragons that are still with us.
Well, Jon Snow is up for debate as well. And there's also some hints about Tyrion might having Targaryen blood.
That's true. Or it could be as simple as 3 dragons for 3 dragon eggs. Now, the symbolism, 3, we all know 3 has a lot of symbolic meaning. And when Egg does the ritual at Summerhall, he uses 7 eggs.
Yeah.
And the whole trial of 7. There's lots of 7.
That was why they did the 7 thing, because it was to honor the 7 gods during the ritual.
Yep. I'm just saying 7 is everywhere. And wasn't Varys the one that gave the 3 eggs to Daenerys?
Illyrio did it, but he's in cahoots with Varys.
Yeah. So
we see that when Arya spots them plotting below the, was it Red Keep?
Yeah, it was when she was chasing the cats. Yeah, and I guess that's what I meant. I know that it was that one dude who gave it to it, but yeah, that Varys was the one who.
So the 2 of them are in cahoots, big time.
Yes.
And I think Illyria was also helping Fagon, right?
Yeah.
And also Tyrion, actually, because Varys smuggles Tyrion out, and then he ends up at Illyrio's place. So
There you are. Again, that's aspects of it that I'm not too familiar with. Now, to go back to what the actor who played Egg said, he said, well, first of all, that Dunk will survive Summer Hall. And then he also says, but we're not sure about Egg. I think that that's also deliberate because that is a tidbit that they didn't want to share. And that when he says we're not sure about Egg, that sounds like maybe that was part of the conversation with George. It's like, well, we're not sure about Egg, but we know about Dunk.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, well the show Nordporial, I mean, just got to throw the show out the window, yeah. Of
They
course.
didn't say Varys went with him. He smuggled Tyrion out.
Yeah.
And then Tyrion ends up at Illyrio's place. Varys does not go with him.
Yeah.
We don't know where Varys goes. He's gone for a while.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and maybe that's not exactly, correct me if I'm on Nordporial, maybe you're just pointing out the fact that Varys doesn't go with Tyrion like in the show. He vanishes and reemerges at the end of Dance. Yes, that is maybe for people also in the chat who can see this, because especially if you've only seen the show.
Yeah, basically when it comes to the show, ignore everything after season 4.
Yeah. So if anyone doesn't know that already, if they're still watching because of spoilers, listen to Steek.
Yeah, just ignore it. It has almost nothing to do with the books, and it has very little to do with previous seasons, actually, because it contradicts them all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, one example of that is, when the White Walkers find out about Bran in the cave, and they go, oh no, now they know where the cave is, right? Well, they had literally laid a trap outside the damn cave when Bran arrived. It was undead around the, outside the opening, waiting for them. So they knew about the cave, all along. So it's kind of, they couldn't even stick to their own writing.
Yeah. And it sounds like this is something you would know better than me. They gave Varys its kills to Qyburn. So I guess there were things that they changed also in the show. I don't know about that. Yeah. I'm one of those weirdos that I know more about Fire and Blood and the Hedge Knight than I do about A Song of Ice and Fire, because I've stopped reading it. I will not continue until he decides he's going to publish the book. There's a small...
here's the thing, though. It might enhance your Dunk and Egg reading.
I've almost thought of that because of where I am with Dunk and Egg. And also just keeping in mind that Dunk's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he is the good guy in all of this story. And an Egg, and that this is about the inherent power of goodness. And because of what's going to be happening on Sunday, I can see already people going, oh, you all were wrong who said that good wins. And it's like, no. Then you don't understand what good is. You don't understand what victory looks like. What ends up happening, I think Aegon needed to be on the throne. Aeg the 5th.
Dunk is very similar to Sir Barristan. They're both trying to do good. And they are knights, not just in title, right? Or rather, Dunk isn't a knight. He lied about it, but he's a knight in any other sense, right?
Yeah. Well, we've talked about this elsewhere, that is he not a knight? Because it's one of the themes of the Hedge Knight is a knight is a knight who behaves like a knight, that you can be knighted but not be a knight, that it's what you do makes you the knight. But yes, technically the ceremony did not happen. I mean,
plus Dunk, after he's supposedly knighted, starts thinking about how he can find another knight to squire for. If you're a knight, you don't squire. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So
you can't.
It's full of little hints like that.
Yeah. Well, and he also mentions a monstrous lie that when he finds out about Egg really being Aegon, and he's wanting to be mad at him, and then he's thinking, I know what it's like to want something to be so true that I would tell a monstrous lie. What monstrous lie? Egg hasn't lied about anything. He's as innocent as can be. What would be the one lie he's told was that he was knighted. And every time he talks about his the knight he was squiring for, Arlen, every time he talks about him knighting him, he blushes, he shuffles, he gets around, and it's never in his internal monologue. But I would argue he is a knight. And
Yeah,
because
he's a knight that just happens to have not been knighted.
exactly by his deeds. But yes, that is definitely something to keep in mind. And also remembering that Barristan is very much alive and kicking in the books, so we know, I mean, he could play a huge role in the final stories. So
He might know a lot about the happenings.
ooh, you know what, like, not unlike, for example, there's stories about, how popes like pass things down like this, or when someone becomes the president, that they find out a whole bunch of secrets, like they find out about Roswell, that maybe it's that same way with the Lord Commanders.
It would be interesting to see what he has to say about Varys.
Interesting. Now I need to reread it all in in keeping in mind the Heads Night. Oh my gosh. But definitely, I think it's incredibly telling that Egg, the actor, what's his name, Dexter, he was like, well, we don't know about Egg. He doesn't say Egg is dead. He says, we don't know if Egg is alive or not, but Dunk is alive. Now, I've told you my theory about Dunk being alive, because until this interview, I never thought Dunk was alive. I honestly thought that Dunk died, like trying to save people, and it was just like a big, huge tragedy. I never had it in my head. What are your thoughts about Dunk being alive?
Well, it doesn't mean he's alive during Game of Thrones. He might have died from old age by then, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. It might be interesting to read what Varys has to say about his past and all kinds of stuff in the books, because there might be little hints there. But we know that Brienne is a direct descendant of Dunk, because that's been confirmed. So maybe he ended up on what is it, Sapphire Island, where she's from? No. Anyway.
You would know better than I.
Yeah,
well, she has his sigil.
No, well, it's called Tarth, isn't it? The island.
Yeah, Brienne of Tarth. I was going to say.
Yeah. Jamie lies and says it's a Sapphire Island, which is not true, because he tries to keep her from getting raped and be used as a hostage instead.
Yeah, what a guy. And people forget that Jamie, as far as we know from the books, is going to actually turn out to be a hero and not the piece of shit that he had been before his transformation. Like, he's I don't know. Like I said, the TV show, I have to keep wiping it out. It's like, wait a second. We don't
Jamie
know.
has probably, out of all the character, has the greatest character development in the books.
And we haven't reached its destination.
No. However, the last we see of him in the books is Brienne leading him towards Lady Stoneheart, which is not a good thing.
No. What a cliffhanger. Yeah, Sapphire Isle, the blue of the water. Yes. So, but if Dunk survives, why would he keep his existence secret after Summerhall?
No idea.
Okay.
Maybe they both went off to do something else that's of importance. I don't know.
But man, that Irish guy who plays Dunk, his face goes bright red when he's trying to get that kid to shut up. I mean, not in a mad way, but almost like embarrassed, like, oh shit. And it's like, no. And he's kind of smiling, like trying to play it off. But like Dunk, he's bright red. It's his tell.
Bright red when he lies.
Exactly. Exactly. And then the actor goes and does it. And you cannot fake turning bright red the way he does in that interview. Yeah.
Well, Nerdporial is asking if we think they'll make an alliance with Lady Stoneheart to fight the others. Will they put her down? Well, here's the thing. Jamie and even Catelyn and them, they don't know about the others, which is the White Walkers. So I don't think they're tied much to that storyline at all. Lady Stoneheart seems to be looking for Rob's will and his crown, because she's heading into areas where it was last seen.
Oh, damn, you're right. That was what they were discussing right before the Red Wedding, because Rob made Jon the heir.
Yeah. Exactly.
Ooh.
And they also said that Beric, when he sacrificed himself to raise Catelyn as Lady Stoneheart, they said his fire passed into her. So it's fire that brought her to life, meaning, the fire white. Right? And so Stoneheart, the fire is in her heart, right? Then we have the Nissa story where, the Azor Ahai stabbed his sword into the heart of a lady called Nissa. And that created Lightbringer, the sword that supposedly killed, the White Walkers back in the day. Right? So could it be that fire passes into Jon's sword? He has a Valyrian steel sword. So, and there's also Lucifer means Lightbringer. Right? So it doesn't have to be a good thing. And Jon is Lord Commander number 998. However, the Night King was stricken from the records, which means Jon is number 999, which is 666 inverted. Just an observation.
Yeah. So is it really a good thing? And even a lot of this magic and this blood magic, it's very possible that they are all deceived.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Holy crud. Yeah. Just from one little kid blabbing his mouth while they're making little puppets, I think, or dragon puppets. I don't even know what they were making, but definitely hand puppets. And suddenly, oh boy. Let's see. I think he says Howland Reed is harboring Mage Mormont at Greywater Watch. That's why they are unaccounted for.
Could be. There's George Martin said he did not put Howland Reed on screen yet because Howland Reed knows everything pretty much. So it would spoil the whole story if he gets put on screen. So I'm betting we will see him in book 6 because he's not going to save him till 7 and just have him show up like a Deus Ex Machina. Right? It has to be 6.
Yeah.
So, he knows what happened at the Tower of Joy and all that stuff. And he has also been to the Isle of Faces. Howland Reed went there.
Ooh.
He's one of the few who has. So it's and there seems to be some kind of magic going on in the neck where House Reed is located in those swamps. And his son has the green sight, Jojen Reed. so which is rare, and it's exactly what the children of the forest want, right? Because the green seers used to be their priests in a way. So it's something's going on there. I think that's why they had Bran. Well, it looks like he ate Jojen's blood because they put it in that paste at the end of book 5. So they've turned Bran technically into a cannibal, and that would mean he'd kind of take the essence of Jojen Reed, which will make Bran a powerful warg and a green seer.
Which is a powerful and probably quite possibly a dangerous combination. And I mentioned this in one of our chats, almost an inversion on something, for example, like the Eucharist. So that's not necessarily like a good thing, that we're dealing with some really unnatural things that even if it brings magic, that's...
Yeah, well, here's the thing. If you read the Bran chapters, especially when it's north of the wall, it almost reads like, a demonic possession story with Bran, because he's getting worse and worse in a way, but he doesn't realize it. Because in book 5, we're told about the abominations for a skin changer. You're not supposed to eat anything while you've skin changed into an animal. That's an abomination. You're not supposed to eat human flesh when you're an animal, because you'll lose yourself, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was also you're not supposed to skin change into humans. I think that was maybe one of them. Bran has broken all except one so far. He's broken all of them. And the only one left, I believe, is to mate while you have skin changed into an animal, which I have some dark thoughts about that in the cave.
Well, again, demonic, like you said, if it's 666, Lightbringer, and John in all of this, it's like, oh.
Yeah, because I'm convinced that the Westeros story in the books is Ragnarok from Norse mythology, the end of the world. Frost giants attacking the Bifrost Bridge and crossing into Asgard and Midgard.
Yeah.
Right? And there's so many things that fit like a glove there. It's ridiculous. But I think the Targaryen storyline is inspired by the End of Days story from the Bible. So King's blood is inspired by the blood of King David, which Jesus had, I believe. And Rhaegar seems to have been the Jesus figure in the story, who's died. So the Antichrist comes after Jesus, right? And then Jesus returns somehow for a final battle. So it's all about bloodlines, though. It's not like the person coming back. It's something coming back from the bloodline.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of stuff like that. You have the 3 heads of the beast that's mentioned. One of them fits with Melisandre, the other fits with Euron, and the third fits with the High Sparrow.
Huh. Well, there you go. And speaking of which, now that you mention the people, the Euron and all of them, the whole kind of real literal baptism thing, like we say, it's symbolic, like that when you're baptized, you symbolically die. In their case, you really die, and the drowned god or whatever. So
yeah, here's a cool thing. The Great Other that Melisandre seems to think is the main evil, right?
Yeah.
Is described as having black eyes. She warns you, don't talk about him, or his black eyes will fall on you and stuff like that. Euron has one black eye, and so does the raven that talks to. Sorry, the crow that talks to Bran in his dreams. In the show, it's Bloodraven, right? That's doing it. But because the crow keeps urging him to do all kinds of stuff in his dreams, it's off. And when we know that Nan told them early on that crows are all liars, right?
Mm.
So there's a hint there. But when Bran arrives at Bloodraven's cave, he asks, "Are you the three-eyed crow?" And Bloodraven is all confused, doesn't know what the heck he's talking about. So it's not Bloodraven sending those things to Bran.
Interesting.
It's Jojen that tells Bran to go north.
Yeah, and that kid definitely has some sort of weird magical connection.
They have visions of the cave they have to get to.
Mm-hmm. Now, to just slightly circle back to where you're talking about Ragnarok. Now, it's not maybe necessarily a literal Ragnarok. It could be like the end of the world as we know it, as the song goes.
No. Not in this case.
But you think the whole thing, like literally everyone's gonna be...
Not everyone, but it's gonna, because Ragnarok, right? Before Ragnarok kicks in, there's a period of strife and war and diseases. There's patricide. There's brothers killing brothers. Check, right?
Uh-huh.
And morality has decayed, which we see from Dunk and Egg until Game of Thrones. It's decayed. It's not George being nihilistic. He's talking about what it's like both in the Bible, I think, and Norse mythology, what people are like before shit hits the fan.
Well, Plato's cave too, that's the thing. The whole...
Yeah. So, and then long winter will kick in, and then a long night, effectively. And fire giants and frost giants will attack the world. That's the White Walkers and the dragons, right? And the wall is the Bifrost Bridge, right? King's Landing is Asgard, I guess. And then, you have all the gods are represented in the story as well.
Okay. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, though, that, I mean, at the end of Song of Ice and Fire, though we don't know this, we're not necessarily going to have the end of the world.
No, because in one of the, because there's a couple of versions of it. In one of them, the survivors sit down by a table and decide what the world is going to be going forward, which is actually the end of the show.
Yeah. And remember, George did say when people asked him, is that how it's going to end? And he was like, sort of. It is, but it isn't, because in the execution of it, I'm paraphrasing him, it's going to be something very different. So,
yeah. I mean, hell, Thor and Odin die before Ragnarok, right? King Robert, born at Storm's End, like thunder, right?
Yeah.
Storm god. He uses a hammer. He parties. He's known for his great strength. He sleeps with women left and right. That's Thor in the mythology to a T. And in some of the myths, Odin was described as a mad king. I shit you not.
Oh, like I said, you know this so much better than I do. That's very interesting. So when you're watching this or reading this, for you, that's just like sticking out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. There's even a Hodor. It's spelled Hodr, which is a gentle giant that doesn't harm anyone unless tricked. And you have a Heimdall, right, which is the wisest and palest of the gods, and he's at the Bifrost Bridge. And he's the Watcher. That's what he's called. Heimdall's called the Watcher. Well, Sam Tarley is at the wall, which is the Bifrost Bridge. He's a watcher on the wall, right? He's pale by being cowardly, and he's also pale-skinned. He's also the wisest guy up there. And he happens to have a horn. Heimdall's supposed to blow a horn to signal Ragnarok. Sam has a horn, and he's also born at Horn Hill. You know,
Oh, well, I'll be damned.
this reference is galore.
Wow.
And I could name like 10 or 15 more that fits to a T. And also, when Ragnarok starts, it's because Loki, the god of trickery and fire, breaks free from captivity in a cave. I mean, Bloodraven. He used trickery constantly, didn't he?
Yes. Well, are you talking about Loki or Bloodraven? Because I know more about Loki than I know about Bloodraven.
Yeah, Bloodraven
Yeah.
used. He was, accused of being a sorcerer, wasn't he?
Yes. Like I said, I know
And
more about him. Sorry, go ahead.
Here's the kicker, though. The one Melisandre thinks is the Lord of Light is Bloodraven, because when she's closer to the wall, she's more powerful. So she's basically closer to her power source, right?
Oh.
She has a better reception. But so she can see more clearly in the flames, because she has one chapter in the books from her POV, and she looks into the fire, and she wants to see the Lord of Light. And she sees his face clearly, and it's Bloodraven's face, because the birthmark is described.
Oh,
So
man.
the Lord of Light is Bloodraven, and he has a wolf next to him, which is Bran, right?
Well, and of course, the whole thing about all of the Starks having a dire wolf to each other and Ghost. Well, the theory about that's what's really going to happen with Jon Snow. He's a ghost.
Well, here's something I noticed when in book 5, when Jon is talking to Mance Rayder. They have like a parlay right before the final attack, but then Stannis shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Varamir Sixskins, which is a skin changer that's with Mance Rayder, explains that if an animal has been warged into before, it's easier for other wargs to use that animal, because the animal has been accustomed to the invasion, right?
Mm.
After that battle, Jon doesn't sense Ghost for quite a while. He doesn't sense Ghost until Ghost returns I think it's the chapter before Jon gets stabbed. So he doesn't sense him because someone else is using Ghost at that time, because Ghost is north of the wall. And when Ghost returns, he's like snarling and snappish at people, even Jon. And he is thinner, like he's been starved. That means someone used Ghost, and it was someone professional, because the person didn't eat, that it didn't have Ghost eat something, because that's an abomination, right? If you're in the wolf and you eat the flesh of an animal or something, you commit an abomination. So whoever did it is a skin changer that knows what not to do.
Oh, wow. Holy crud.
Yeah.
And once again, all this from a little 11-year-old boy blabbing his mouth while they're making hand puppets during an interview. Wow, this is so cool. The way it is, it's all connected. It's
So what I think
so
is going to
critical.
happen is something is going to get inside Jon's body when he gets raised. And Jon is going to be inside Ghost, because he says Ghost when he dies, right? And Varamir Sixskins does the same thing in the prologue. When he dies, he immediately kind of panics and walks into the nearest animal to survive.
Yeah.
And hence the name Ghost. It's going to be the ghost of Jon in it, kind of. I don't think it's. I think John is going to get back into his body somehow, but someone or something else is going to be in it for a while, which goes back to the Antichrist thing.
Yeah, and just like the way it's unnatural, it's like an inversion of what is holy and normal. One could argue the whole incest thing with the Targaryens. You talk about unnatural.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there's
Mm.
this is why it takes long to write, because of all there's like 3 novels written between the lines, but it shouldn't take this long. But
No. Yeah, we do not defend Martin on that one. I just wanted to throw this out here that King Daron and Baelor was the same, and also Aegon the Fifth was the same. Egg, that they didn't want to do the incest thing. Like it happened anyways in the case of some of Aegon's children, but they were trying to get away from the incest, and they were actually kind of the good guys.
yeah,
So, yeah. And out of disobedience, Aegon's children, or 2 of his children, go ahead and do the whole incest thing. So that's something to keep in mind as well.
Yeah.
That
you know
they
what
were not
George,
unnatural. They were not unnatural.
you know what George Martin said. If you use one writer as a source, you're plagiarizing. But if you use 100 writers as a source, it's research,
Yeah.
which is true, and that's why there's a lot of he's borrowing a lot from mythology. Definitely is, and that's not plagiarism, because mythology is a public domain. We all own it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But he did say he knows where the story's going in broad strokes, and that's what mythology is. It's only broad strokes to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also want to throw out here to bring it to the Hedge Knight and House of the Dragon. Oh gosh, pretend I did not say House of the Dragon. I meant the Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. That Prince Baelor, named after Baelor the Blessed, a saint in the Restory world, and his brother Maekar, that they are the hammer and the anvil. That's their nicknames, and that they are brothers. They also have a very healthy relationship. Now, in the parts that we see Maekar, especially they show this in the show, but in the story as well, up to a certain point, he's extra grumpy, and he's extra grumpy because 2 of his sons have gone missing, but they actually are very, very close, and he is the one that kills his own brother. The whole Cain and Abel thing, the fact that, I mean, it's not just that his brother gets killed, he gets killed by his hand, and that fucks up a lot of things and breaks your heart, but also, oof. And he says he doesn't even remember it happening. And I get it, because it's just so crazy in the melee that's going to happen in the Trial of Seven. And Lionel Baratheon and Baelor, they were actually holding off Maekar, because Maekar was trying to get to his son, because basically Dunk was about ready to kill his son, and it was still his son, and he was desperately trying to get to him, and they were stopping him. And they said that for every blow that Maekar got in, he received 3. So he was desperate in this, and it's by his hand. The anvil kills the hammer. I mean, oh. So we've also got that to not look forward to, if you will. It's going to break everybody's hearts, but it also shows that, that it's just a big jumble of mess and history and things that get messed up just the way it is in real life, but that there is genuine affection. And even amongst the brothers, they hinted at it in the TV show, but I think it was clear in the book that Egg has a very close relationship, that a protective relationship with his eldest brother Darren, and we do have no reason to believe. Well, actually, we have every reason to believe that Aemon and Egg have a good relationship, because Egg is a cute little brother, and so as he's dying, as the old Meister is dying. It is Aemon, and am I got the name right? That the guy who becomes a Meister, he's Aemon Targaryen.
Yeah, Aemon.
Yeah, good. Okay, because I sometimes get confused with these guys, but that they obviously had some fondness, and he's the one that gives him the name Egg, and he's so much younger than them. And Arion is the piece of shit who kills himself by trying to become a dragon by drinking wildfire. So, and he was the one that his father was trying to save. But you can imagine that at the end of the day, it is his son, and he's desperately trying to save him, even if it was his own fault that we even have the trial of sevens, because Arion is a piece of shit. But I love it. So, and in the midst of this, you have the goodness in the heart of it all, which is a friendship between Dunk and Egg. And now we know that Dunk will survive Summerhall, and we don't know, but we do know. And that's why this is a Gloat stream, because, again, Stieg has been saying this, and apparently no one listens, because I don't see this heavily in the zeitgeist, but it's there.
Well,
it's there.
That. Remember all the crap we got, you and I, and Sporking on his channel for spotting that, the House of the Dragon, the changes they made are going to have ripple effects.
Yes.
And then season 2 happened, and the ripple effects happened even more so than we thought, because they altered a lot of stuff in that one. And crickets.
Yeah. Well, people were still defending it. People were still coping. People were still coping until George came out and said it. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, oh, I never liked season 2 anyways. Like, no. We were getting crap. Remember when Christy was on, when we were talking about it, according to Christy, and everyone was just dumping on us. And haha,
Christy got a lot of crap. She got a lot of crap on Twitter too, I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
And well, she was right.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Just shows how retarded people are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like
they basically had an emotional reaction instead of actually listening to what she said.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is why, well, House of the Dragon, it's already doomed. I'm really enjoying how everyone is like really giving Ryan Condal some shade, and the fact that they're going to try to go ahead with season 3, first of all, without Nettles, and with having messed up everything. And this show is showing the fact that this is like the highest rated since 2014 or something, like critically rated, I think, as far as the IMDb goes. I don't have the stats in front of me, but it's like also one of the most viewed. It just gives a lie to what people are saying, or proves the lie that people say, oh, people just want to see dragons. It's like, no, we don't need one dragon. We haven't seen one dragon unless you count the puppet. It's the story, and it's a male story. The fact that they kept them all male is a miracle. That they haven't yet had someone like try to humiliate Prince Baelor, make him drink blue milk or something like that. None of that they've kept the men intact, and people are flocking to it. We like healthy masculinity, and this dumping on men, or this girl bossing, or this weird crap that they do, that they felt like they had to cuck Matt Smith in season 2 of House of the Dragon. It's just absurd. But yes, you are right, and this is why we were right and everyone else was wrong.
I think a bit of the problem is a lot of the writers today are also gamers. And when you play like medieval role-playing games and whatever, right, on your console or PC, there's no difference between the genders of the character you pick. Play Skyrim, it doesn't matter if it's male or female, it's just cosmetic. So when they write strong female action heroes, those characters behave like males. It's just Martin Riggs with tits, right?
Yeah.
So they can't. They don't seem to fathom that men and women are different, right? So if you go back to Aliens, Ripley behaves like a woman. She's like a being a mama bear for Newt. That's
Yeah.
why she does the action she does.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
if you
men and
go,
women.
if you, Predator, Arnold's not like that at all. He's male, right? So they're different. They're both great, but different. But nowadays it's, uh, yeah, we need to do a movie like John Wick, but with a woman, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, which they did with the ballerina movie, which is that one was actually done well because she can't outmuscle people, so she actually fights dirty as shit. So they did it right with that, but usually they don't.
No.
It's just it's like they write an action movie for a guy and put a chick in it.
Yeah,
You
and they
know?
don't understand the complementarity of the sexes, that just because we're different, that doesn't mean that we don't have power and wield it in different ways and in complementary ways.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And
let me just
another thing is writers today, they spend a lot of time on social media. Back in the day, Raymond Feist and Robert Jordan and stuff, they didn't have Twitter and social media. They so they weren't, affected by memes and all that. And if you look at Disney Star Wars, they actually put memes in the damn shows. Like, the stormtroopers can't shoot. That's a meme, right?
yeah,
But they actually can shoot quite well. We're told that, yeah, stormtroopers are precise. They kill the Jawas, right?
yeah,
Then when they get on the Death Star, they start missing. They miss Han Solo a lot, right? All that stuff. And then we're told afterwards, which is what people still don't fucking get, is they let them escape.
yeah.
They're missing on purpose.
That's
they
what
can
Princess. That's what Princess Leia says.
Yeah, she figures it out, and Tarkin and Vader confirms it. Oh, there's a tracker on the ship, right?
Yeah.
They let them escape. They missed on purpose. That's not stormtroopers being bad shots. If they were bad shots, they would have hit them when trying to miss. So, yeah.
Wow.
So that's, and they put that in one of their shows, like, oh, yeah, remember this meme? It's canon. Yeah, you just made it dumb. It just shows you didn't understand Star Wars Episode 4 at all.
Yeah. I want to acknowledge something in the chat here. Well, first of all, I think, Salty, you'll understand why I'm not highlighting one of your comments, but definitely I understand where you're coming from. But I should say that while House of the Dragon was going on, also Salty, Traveling Sea, what Prophet of the Dragon, Norpoil, we were on stream saying the exact same thing too, and screaming into the void. So shout out as well there, is like, yeah, that it was obvious about what they were doing wrong and where it was going wrong and why it was going wrong.
Salty has been honest about stuff like that from day one.
Yeah.
He's been dead honest, which is why he's not dead, because I kill liars. No.
Yeah. So Salty says, there were plenty of feminine, passionate, strong women I've known in real life. None of them acted like faux tough, irresponsible teenage boys. And again, I won't say the end of that, but there is definitely truth to that. And another thing, now these are memes, but if you are following the Twitter and the world and the feminine talk that I am hearing right now, there is so much thirst for the DILFs, for Prince Baelor and Maekar. Now, you look at them, they are not necessarily Henry Cavill, and hold that thought because this is deliberate. We're going to transition to that. But every woman wants to F them, all right? And there's a reason why. Because when we see healthy masculinity, that's what women are incredibly attracted to. Sometimes you'll see people go, oh, women just want men with a six-pack. It's like, no, we want men who act like men. They can be older. They can be whatever. But yeah, the memes and the gifs surrounding these guys. And yes, the fact that they are now the DILFs this week.
Oh, I got solidly burned with a six-pack thing, because I had a six-pack, right? And then this was like 90s, 2000s. And they were, talking about, oh, yeah, women like modern men now, right? Remember that? Yeah. So I was like, oh, so six pack is out because that's like a washboard, and women don't wash clothes in the river anymore, right?
Yeah.
But we had those balls that you fill with soap and put in the washing machine.
Uh-huh.
Remember those?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like a washing ball. So I was like, if six pack is out, how about a washing ball? I should try and get a stomach. And it turned out it was wrong.
Dear.
They
Oh,
lied
dear.
to me. Oh, Phil. Um, yes, I would. He's saying he should watch Ballerina. I said, yeah. I would recommend it. It's not as necessarily as good as the John Wick ones, but it doesn't do any harm.
Mm.
It's I enjoyed it.
Okay.
So you can, if you think it's shit, blame me then. But I'll vouch for that one.
Yeah, hashtag blame Stieg. All right. So to sum up, this is a gloating stream because we've been saying this for years. Stieg has definitely been saying it for years, and it appears that we have confirmation that Egg is not dead. Aegon, and who could he be? Well, we've been saying for the very long time that he is actually Varys, that
Well,
Egg did not die.
well, here's the thing: if Egg doesn't die, that means George kept him around for something else.
Yes.
Which who could it be? And it's only really one option.
Yes. Every line that George R. R. Martin has, not just in A Song of Ice and Fire, but especially in The Hedge Knight, because it's short. It's short,
Yeah.
means something. The fact that the head shaped like an egg, being castrated.
Yeah, also kind of bulging eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
here's the thing: in book 2, they encounter a lady who has like a huge spider web tapestry behind her throne, wasn't it? So Varys the spider.
Mm.
You know,
I'm not sure about that. I'll
it's
trust your
the
source
lady
on that.
they. Well, it's the woman in the next book because there's not a lot of characters in these.
And I'm going to be, yes, and for those of you that enjoyed listening to The Hedge Knight, and I know Salty was all there with me and many others were, that I am going to be doing the next book the way I did The Hedge Knight once the season finale ends. But wow, it's going to be a hell of a ride, and I think it's just really exciting that we actually have something that we're looking forward to. Now, I'm not being naive. We know that it is connected to the Game of Thrones TV show. We know that it's connected with House of the Dragon, but I'm just taking it as it comes. And when something is this good, I will just celebrate it. I mean, it really is. And so far, it looks like Ira, the guy who is the showrunner, for whatever reason, whether he's sucking up or whether he really believes it, he is staying faithful as hell to this. And with this next possible spoiler, we all know about Henry Cavill, who very, very famously left The Witcher because they were not being faithful to the material, and that they were treating him like crap for being faithful to the material, for being
Not
the
just that.
nerd.
They were laughing at the source material,
Mhm.
actively mocking it in their meetings, which is
Yeah.
why the hell are you adapting it if you think it's ridiculous? Why
Mhm.
not adapt something you like?
Yeah.
You know, and if they had done The Witcher right, it would have been superb.
Yeah. It would have been the Game of Thrones they all are looking forward to. It would have been must-see TV for everybody to watch. But
Maybe, because
well,
it's not as, it doesn't have as big a scope as Game of Thrones or whatever, but or even Wheel of Time. But it's a solid story told from beginning to end. I didn't think he nailed the ending. The ending was okay, but there was some weird stuff.
yeah. Okay, well, maybe I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean. It would have been must-watch TV. It would have been
Oh,
things
heck
that we
yes.
would have been watching, because, I mean, you got Henry Cavill, and not only were they being disrespectful by laughing at the source material, but in doing so, they were being disrespectful to Henry Cavill as well.
You know what? Here's a good comparison. Henry Cavill had consumed the source material. He had learned the lore. He knew everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he got mocked for it and all that stuff. When Peter Jackson filmed The Lord of the Rings, they had Christopher Lee, which was exactly what Cavill was for The Witcher. He knew the source material inside out. And they, instead of mocking him, they asked him for advice and stuff like that.
Yeah. And well, when
They
you've
did it
seen,
right.
yeah. And I don't know if you've seen the behind the scenes things from The Hobbit, where he's obviously very old and couldn't travel, but he was at the studio and everyone was gathered around him, just listening to him, telling him tales about all sorts of stuff. And people were just when I say worshiping him, I mean, that's how much people respected him and they just wanted to listen to him talk. And one of the guys who was in The Hobbit, he wasn't even supposed to film that day, but he still came in because he wanted to honor Christopher Lee. They wanted to listen to what he had.
He flew in to meet him.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was Graham McTavish, who plays Dwalin.
Thank you for the name. I couldn't remember. Yeah, exactly. So that goes to show you the difference there. But let's look at what they have to say and what. Once again, I just love Peter, the guy who plays Dunk. Just watch him and how he is asking the person off screen, is it okay if we say this? Is it okay if we say that? And then Egg opens his mouth, and once again, he's like, So this is great. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm sharing this correctly. I always am so paranoid. All right, we are not sharing any DMs. The DMs are closed. And let's bring up this other clip. Always adorable.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No, I think we can say that.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we got clear. Can I say that?
Yeah.
I was asked about the Geralt of Rivia.
As long as we're all holding spoilers until respective
Oh yeah,
episodes,
no, it's no
great.
spoiler. That first season, The Witcher, Henry Cavill saying, I'm kind of this comparison where it's like Dunk is kind of like his movement into Ashford and stuff. He's kind of a less sexy, less confident, less charismatic Geralt of Rivia. That's what I was kind of like. Yeah, that's a good way to go. I think. Yeah.
We can say that.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
No, I think we can say that here.
I asked, and they said it was cool.
No, I think we can say that Henry Cavill.
No, God, no, don't say that. Sorry, you didn't hear that. I don't know.
Okay, so there we have it.
Yeah. Well, it could have been something else. It doesn't mean he's going to be in it. Maybe they were going to, I don't know. But if Cavill is to be in the next season, he's going to play Lucas Inchfield, the guy Dunk duels.
Yes, and we're going to bring up who that is. But I'm going to push back slightly on you, Stieg. Why do you think he was like, oh, no, gosh, no. We can't say that. Because remember, Dunk was like, no, can I? Or Egg was like, can I say this?
The first thought is, because Cavill is going to be in season 2.
Yeah.
Right? Which is probably what it is. But could also have been that they talked about Cavill before and should we bring this up? And then, no, don't talk about that. Don't mention I called him a shit, right?
Yeah, or maybe something that obviously Henry Cavill's been talking to them and something that maybe Cavill had said, oh, no, you're not allowed to share that. Okay, so let's be fair there. But for fun, to me, it seemed like he had a little bit of not as bad of the panic as when Egg. Why do I keep getting these? I'm so used to saying Dunk and Egg. When Egg reveals that Dunk lives and that we don't know if Egg died. It's like, oh, really?
You know what else I've noticed? The actors that play Dunk and Egg have insane, what do you call it?
Chemistry?
Chemistry, which is the last time I saw chemistry that strong was probably Mel Gibson and Danny Glover.
Mm, you're not exaggerating.
No, I'm not at all. It's they fit so well, and I'm wondering when they cast the kid, did they cast one that went really well with the Dunk actor?
I'm glad you said that. I know the answer. I know the answer to that because when Dunk, gosh darn it, Dunk and Egg, see, to me, they're one entity. When Egg, Dexter, received the Zoom that said that he got the role of Egg, first of all, it was adorable because they just had a picture of an egg when he got on the Zoom and he goes, "Oh my gosh," and all this. And then they said, "You went through so much, so many callbacks, so many chemistry tests." So the answer to that is yes.
Hmm.
Uh,
I
and
think they did the same with. Didn't they do the same with Star Wars? They
yes,
cast the ones that went best together.
you're right, they did. That not necessarily individually, yeah, that they auditioned them as a group or in pairs. Mhm. I was so inspired by that when I was doing my middle school plays and things, that's how I would cast in the musicals. I would actually cast the way George Lucas did it in Star Wars. I'm like, it worked for him. I'm going to do it with these kids. And sure enough, that's how you got a good cast. But let's look at the character that you think that Henry Cavill's going to play. Yeah, and Salty Traveler Wants to Fight is in Fight Me. You know, it makes total sense. It really does. And I
I'll
think that
fight him
he
anyway, just for fun. I'll
oh
fight
shit.
Salty in a graveyard.
Damn.
Yeah, just
That
for the
is
hell of it. Like no malice. Just like, yeah, I'm gonna go over there and fight Salty.
that that escalated so fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the reason why this is cut and paste is because the stupid website that is having this gives all sorts of, "Oh, Teresa, since you live," and just about gave away all my address. You know the way those
Yeah.
advertisements do. So I copied it. I think this is a wiki from Westeros or something that
Wiki of
you
Ice
did.
and Fire.
Wiki of Ice and Fire.
Which
Oh,
is yeah, it's not the show, it's the book wiki.
yep. Oh, graveyard. I'm in. Well,
Yeah.
I,
Cool.
and you've got some cool graveyards by you too, Steve. That would work out really nicely.
Yeah. I haven't fought in it though.
Okay. Well, let's just have a quick look. It says, you think he is playing Lucas Inchfield, known as Lucas Longinch, was a knight from House Inchfield and was a castellan of Cold Moat for Lady Rohane Weber. Lucas was between 40 and 50. 40 and 50.
Hey, Fitz.
He was a big man, estimated to be 6 feet and 7 inches, sinewy rather than muscular, but hey, we'll forgive that, but standing straight as a lance. Sir Duncan the Tall considered Lucas remarkably ugly, with a broad nose, thick lips, crooked yellow teeth, and protruding eyes. Well, this is something that they could definitely change. And maybe he
Well,
just
they do
jealous.
change stuff like that quite a bit, but it would be fun if they actually kept it and uglied the bastard up big time.
Oh no. Oh, shit.
Here's what Cavill looks like when beaten with an ugly stick, ladies.
The Longinch had a cool and proud demeanor, but he was also cruel. He looked down upon hedge knights. Boo. Lucas wore black silk and cloth of silver, and his armor was black enamel plate and silvery ring mail. The Longinch's helm was decorated with an oinks spider to represent House Weber. Yep, spider, there we go. And his shield
Spider
depicted...
references.
Yeah,
Spider
yeah.
references all over that book.
And his shield depicted the arms of House Inchfield. Lucas wielded sword and two-handed pole axe. His Chester courser was clad in crennet chevron and a cold of light chain. Okay, there's more details that we don't need. Oh, thank you, Salty, for being here, and I'm so sorry. I'm glad it's the last meeting of the week for you. Dear me. But
Just be careful you don't get soy poisoning from them.
oh dear. Yes, please don't. We do not endorse that at all. Oh, oops. I erased Stieg. I'm sorry. There we go.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. Who is not a lisping type. Can you imagine how badass it would be to see him and Dunk, the actor who plays Dunk, going at each other at
Yeah,
a
and
oh,
that's the thing. Dunk has to fight someone his own size. You
yeah,
know.
yeah. So if it's true, if that's what he meant about can we say this about? And he's like, no, 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 you didn't hear that. If that is what it's referring to, and we know what we know about Henry Cavill and things being true to the source material, and sometimes some people are worried that, oh dear, what happens if now that it's successful, they're going to try to interfere? They're already 2 months into filming, 3 months into filming season 2 of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, so it's already locked in. I'm there. I'm there 1,000%.
I just hope they stick to the source material because the source material is popular for a reason. It worked.
Yes.
If it worked, don't fuck with it. It's that simple.
Yeah.
You know, remember when I told you to watch that Treasure Island movie from 1990?
Mm-hmm.
Sticks to the book like a hawk.
Yes.
It's easily the best adaptation.
Yes. Well, I mean, there's a reason why these writers are considered some of the greatest writers who ever lived.
Yeah,
It,
the hard work has been done. All they have to do is adapt it. That's it.
yeah.
Don't change it.
Now, I've been whinging and complaining, and I don't care because I will whinge all day about this, about what they're doing to Wuthering Heights. I'm going through the book. I was going to do Wuthering Heights, another session of that today, but because of what happened, I really wanted to get in on this. But I mean, like, come on, Wuthering Heights. I mean, it's a masterpiece, and I can't even read the plot. It is so vile. I would get like about 500 community strikes what they've done with it, and it's like, listen, it's Wuthering Heights, for crying out loud. Like you said, the work has been done for you. For some reason, I really feel like some good stuff though is going to come from this, because when we had problems with House of the Dragon, the problems were there. I even made videos before season 2 saying, hey, there was some good stuff, but oh my gosh, this is a problem. And I did that using the pregnancies that they had in House of the Dragon, how that is showing a flaw. And of course, the problems that they had by making Alicent and Rhaenyra. But I really believe that at the end, when Rhaenyra was so mad and looking at the screen because her son was dead, it's like, okay, now we're just going to be all out, balls to the wall, war. And then it didn't happen. And then they fumbled Blood and Cheese, which is like, even Dumb and Dumber, even Dan and Dave did not F up the Red Wedding. I mean, the Red... Can you imagine messing up the Red Wedding? That's what they did. And then, of course, the whole rest of season 2 is like, oh, yeah, we can't even pretend that this is even the material. But there
wasn't the Red Wedding. It was
No, Blood and Cheese. What I'm saying
Yeah,
is they messed up Blood and Cheese. That would be the equivalent of messing up the Red Wedding. That's what
Yeah.
I was trying to say.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention closely enough. I came off as a fool.
Not a fool, but oh my gosh, how toxic. Blithering bites. I love it. That's a good one. Well done, sort of poopus. Yes. So that's what they did, but there really hasn't been anything wrong with what they've done in the United Seven Kingdoms. The only thing that they have screwed up that we have spoken of is the prophecy. They had the seer kind of spoil Summerhall, but now that we know that it's kind of out there that Summerhall is now not really what we think it is it really such a big deal? Like, a lot of people are speculating that that's why they didn't maybe shut it down, or even speculating that this was on purpose, but I still think it's too spontaneous, the discussion that was going on between Dexter and Peter. I think that was too much to think that that was not a problem that the little kid blabbed. But at the end of the day, they've been able to keep it,
Yeah. Plus, it's a kid,
Yeah.
You can't really. I'm sure they had a talk with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And at the end of the day, someone pointed out in one of the comments, don't tell a kid, George, if you don't want him to black. Because kids, they're kids. That's even one of the things that came out in the show, in the book, that yes, what Egg did was wrong by deceiving Dunk, but not telling him that he was really the king's son, or rather the nephew of the crown prince and all of that he was really a Targaryen. But at the end of the day, he's just a boy. He's just a kid who just wanted to see some puppet shows and go to see a tournament.
When they want, they're talking about a female James Bond now. Yeah, but if you think about it, you'll have great cars, right? In it. You'll have big accidents, massive explosions. All that from her parking the car.
Oh, no.
So what's not to like?
The only thing that you got wrong with that is you didn't confirm it would be reverse parking.
Doesn't seem to matter all the time.
Oh, yes, it does. Well, never mind. Oh, so there we have it. But yes, we are here to gloat because we've been right all along. We've been talking about it. Definitely Steve has been talking about more than me. I've came late to the party, but that there was more to Summerhall that was going on, that Egg did not die, that Dunk, had Dunk living, I think, wasn't as big a thing as Egg living.
I think Egg almost burning to death or whatever was prevented by Dunk putting his foot in that door, because they had that safety thing going on where sand would fill the room to kill the flames, because it's the only way they could stop wildfire. So the room would seal and fill with sand. So I'm thinking Egg didn't get out, and then Dunk put his foot in the door, because they keep saying his foot would save a king or whatever it was.
Huh. You know that reference better than I do. My gosh, I got to get out. I got to go research. I feel like I'm researching real history here when I'm doing this. But yes, that just sounds so beautiful and so epic. And they're friends, and he's Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. But wow. Well, okay, one more thing I forgot to ask you. You know this better than me. I know I say this 1,000 times, but I'm going to say it one more time. Didn't Varys see something in fire in the books of the Song of Ice and Fire? He did not.
No, I don't think so. I think that's only the show.
Oh, then that is my fault. Okay. So never mind.
Yeah, because I don't think because in the show he takes revenge on that sorcerer too, that had done it to him. He has him in a box, which it's not in the damn books at all.
Okay. Yeah, I've just got it then completely wiped, because that's just showing me that I have still allowed things from the show seep into my consciousness.
Yeah, it will do that, especially if you watch it more than once and all. But
wow. Well, damn. We've got a lot to think about. I've got a lot to think. I got to get out that World of Ice and Fire book. It's somewhere in my house somewhere. I will find it, because I want to learn more about these boys. I mean, they're my boys. I love Duncan Egg. I mean, I loved it when I first read it. I first read The Hedge Knight in graphic novel form. Then I read it in real form. And then I just reread it. And so now I'm feeling like I'm just getting it.
And there's bits of it now that we can see was always there in the Game of Thrones, or rather the Song of Ice and Fire books. There's little tidbits here and there. And why the hell mention it in those books if it's done and over and finito, like 70 years ago?
Yeah.
Right? It's in there because it's important to the overall story.
Mm. Hell yes.
So I think they set something in motion.
Yeah. Definitely set something in motion. But of course, I would say it was all set in motion the minute they met in the stable, because it led to what ended up happening at the tourney. It ended up being the death of the prince, which made then what his brother, I believe, succeeded him, or was it his son? No, I did his son succeed him? I forget how it worked out. I need to work it out. But
You need to make
Baylor,
a tapestry, a research tapestry, like a big poster.
hey, like on those conspiracy theorists. Well, when you said research tapestry, I was like, part of me is like, I do embroidery, but
Yeah.
whoever was next in line, to make a very long story short, it just went through all of them, and quickly they fell like dominoes after Prince Baylor until it got to Makar. And then when Makar, then his sons died, Darren died. Arian, like a twat, drank wildfire. I'm gonna be the dragon man. It's like, wow. So he drank wildfire, took himself the ultimate Darwin awards. Too bad he couldn't have done that sooner. And then
Interesting
Aemon.
how so many Targaryens die from fire, yet Daenerys was immune to it. And Martin said it was a one-time thing. So when the show had her be immune to fire afterwards, it's bullshit.
Oh yeah.
The Targaryens are not immune to fire. They're resistant to heat. That's it. And that's why Martin stresses it that so many Targaryens died from fire.
Well,
So
yeah.
that tells us that what happened to Daenerys at that pyre was a one-time thing, and it was something supernatural went on, right? So she's not going to lock herself inside a house full of Dothraki and burn it and just be unscathed by it.
No, she would have gone up in flames. You're right. Yeah. And then of course Aemon passes over for Aegon, and the rest is history. The fourth son of a fourth son. His nickname was Aegon the Unlikely. Another hand was perhaps stirring things.
Maybe. And maybe something drove the Mad King mad by design.
Yeah. Well, I remember even when the show was going on that people were going to think that maybe someone had warged into him, the Mad
I
King.
don't think so, because he was so incoherent, but I think he had seen things. He had visions that drove him mad.
Oh, like Darren, because that's why Darren is such a drunk and such a mess, because it just was driving him batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why House of the Dragon is retardando, by making herself making her a dreamer, because everyone that's a dreamer acts batshit crazy and it drives them mad. But she's just sitting around going, "Hey, I'm just sitting here being a dreamer." No, dreamers can't handle it. Well, would you be able to handle it if you were able to see all sorts of horrible things when they came true? I mean, yikes.
Well, this stream is all about me being right anyway, so.
Oh, well, that's yes, it is. It's the gloating stream.
I'm quite fine mentally.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Well, for example, if this was modern day and someone was a dreamer, it would be like they dreamed about 9/11 or the atom bomb, or things like that, and then to see it come true, like suddenly you're watching it on the television, but you've already seen it in your dreams.
Yeah. Also, isn't it weird that Daemon Targaryen, right?
Mm-hmm.
During the Dance of Dragons, he crashes into the God's Eye. which is by the Isle of Faces, and his body was never found. Isn't that odd?
Oh, damn. Don't.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the theory, well, the historians in Westeros says he died there as well. They just didn't find the body. But the bards and stuff keeps saying that he survived and lived the rest of his days in secret with nettles.
That would make sense. Because we didn't see Nettles either. She kind of went off. There was like one sighting of Nettles. Yeah. Or if he didn't do that, the fire could have incinerated him as well, because I mean, it was a big ass thing. But yeah, that's very interesting. But you don't think that it's anything like your theory about Varys and all that? Nothing like supernatural.
I don't know what's going on on the Isle of Faces. I know it's something really spooky and messed up that's been going on there. We know that Howland Reed has been there.
Mm.
And likely Damon, even if he just survived for a while.
Yeah. Well, he definitely wanted to get the hell away from Rhaenyra, which is why it's so messed up that they're changing it up. I mean, how are they going to have them fall out if they're not
Yeah.
having Nettles? I mean, and it, for some reason, it doesn't have the same kick if it's his daughter. It's like, no, that's stupid.
Yeah, and if they didn't find well, here's the thing: Damon's sword, right, was stuck into the eye of Aemon's, eye socket.
Yeah, I'd have to double check. I don't know.
Yeah, because he fights Aemon Targaryen. Like it's a dragon fight, and he stabs his sword, which is called Dark Sister, into the eye of his opponent. And they later find Aemon and the dragon in the God's Eye, in the waters, right? Years later.
Mm-hmm.
And the sword was in the eye of the corpse. That sword ends up being Bloodraven's sword.
Oh, damn. I've got to learn more about Bloodraven.
And Bloodraven in the cave he doesn't have the sword anymore. So where did it go? And I'm thinking it's the sword Jon Snow has. Because Mormont gives it to him. It's Valyrian steel. It's odd that he has that, really. But and he has made a new hilt with a wolf on it. But I think that's where I think Jon is using Dark Sister.
Ooh.
Because Bloodraven went to the wall. And that's the last we've seen of it.
Well, I'll be damned.
And when the White Walkers in the prologue attack that guy, I can't remember his name, who looks like Jon Snow actually, and then when he draws the sword, they look at the sword and then they just laugh because it's clearly the wrong sword.
Yeah.
I think they're looking for Dark Sister because it's a threat to them, and then that's what Jon Snow starts using.
Mm.
And here's another thing: when they, the Raven in Mormont's chambers, it keeps yelling "sword, sword, sword," right? When the undead attacks the Lord Commander, they're not going up there to kill the Lord Commander. They're going in there to fetch the sword because Mormont showed off the sword in front of the Raven in the chapter before.
Ooh.
So they're heading to his bedchamber because that's where the sword is. They're not there to just kill the Lord Commander. That would do nothing. They'll just get a new Lord Commander anyway. They're
Yeah.
after the sword. They're after the sword.
Wow. Everything that you're saying and more. It's all connected and it all makes sense. My goodness gracious. Okay, well, for all you that are wondering here, if you do become a member, one of your perks is I will definitely shout out your channel. And so I have Prophet of the Dragon. Please subscribe to him. I have Salty Traveling Seas, and Snorta Poopus Cooper is a member of House Musers or House Rose, and so is Deeple 101 and John Sue. So thank you for being members, and you too can be a member. But that is one of your perks, so I must fulfill it, and I have.
Little bonus, do you know how Bloodraven got to the wall?
I do not.
He was escorted by Sir Duncan the Tall and the King's Guard.
No way.
Big way.
Another connection. Wow. Wow. One more theory to throw out there about this old Nan things. You think old Nan knows more than we think she knows, or does she just a lady that knows a lot of fairy tales and nursery rhymes, if you will?
Oh, George Martin said she was just an old woman. But yeah, I think she has some information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, well, if that's the case, then that's the case. But it is true that a lot of things that people consider nursery rhymes, fairy tales, and things that are told by servants and nannies and all of that across the realm, it's usually based on some really dark and adult truths that are out there, whether it's historical or philosophical or whatever. So, Well, alrighty. Well, I want to thank you, Stieg. My gosh, this has been amazing. I first of all love being right, and I know that you love being right even more than I love being right. And it just really seems to me to be a confirmation, and you can't get it any better than that on this planet. It's very rare. Cute little Dexter. I mean, would forgive him anything. Let's see. Is there anything coming up that you would like to plug?
No.
Okay.
Well, we're doing the Clint Eastwood movie talk, though.
Yes, we are. Most likely sometime next week. I know I said it'd be this week, but then things happen. So stay tuned. We will be doing the Fistful of Dollars. Hey, I said it right. I didn't say the wrong movie this time. So we will be reviewing A Fistful of Dollars for the Cowboy Campfire. And, well, by the time probably I see you all again, or at least by the time we're streaming again, it will have already been episode 5, which I'm really looking forward to, though I know I'm probably going to cry like a big baby, and I will not be ashamed. I want to thank everyone that's been here in the chat. We've already shouted out the members, but we also had coming in, we had Phil, Praise for You with Metal. Thank you for being here. And Nordporial, we had Zax, and every one of you, I've been seeing you coming in and out and lurking. So thank you for being here and for supporting the channel. Oh, I forgot about Dadman Walking. Oh, I should have said yes. On Sunday at 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern, I will be on Dadman Walking's channel. We're going to be discussing lots of things. I think Lord of the Rings is one of the things we're going to be talking about. But we usually like to talk about that, about Civil War, about all sorts of good stuff. So I hope that you will join us there. So have a great day, everyone. Have a great day. And be certain to always ask questions of Dexter, because he will spoil everything. And that's a good thing.